Robertson back along with Jimmy Williams. It's Robertson from the goal line with Williams leading the way. Robertson out across the 20 to the 23. James in 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. It's Garrison Hearst. And he's bottled up. No gain on the play. Brady Jackson leading the way. Last season. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Garcia steps up and throws complete out at the 37-yard line. Ty Streets for a gain of 13 and a 49ers first down.
And this is some chemistry that has developed since J.J. Stokes has gone out with the injury. Ty Streets has really raised his level of play, and you can see that Jeff Garcia is becoming very confident. He is becoming the go-to guy because Terrell Owens is facing so many double coverages during the course of the game.
Streets tied his career high with 4 receptions against Seattle on Monday, including 2 during the opening drive of the game. From the 36, off the play fake to Hurst. On 1st down, Garcia hits Hurst out of the backfield. 1st down and more. Finally forced out of bounds in Saints territory after a gain of 14 yards.
And this is similar to a screen pass, a play that has really plagued this New Orleans Saints defense. He looks out to his right initially, then comes back to Garrison Hearst with a lead blocker, Fred Beasley, in front of him. So kind of a version of one of the screen plays that has really gone for big yards against this defense the last few games.
Hurst with 19 receptions now, 2nd leading receiver on the 49ers. Trailing only Terrell Owens, who has 24. 1st and 10 from the Saints 49. Hurst up the middle, down to the 46-yard line. A gain of 3.5. Norman Hand in on the stop, setting up 2nd down and 6.
You saw the end of the run right there. Norman Hand trying to strip the ball from Garrison Hearst, and Garrison doing a smart thing right there, not to try and make something happen that wasn't there. You got a guy as big as Norman Hand holding on to you. There's a good chance you're not going to break that tackle. He gets down without turning the ball over.
Hand and Jackson in the middle, both well over 300 pounds. 2nd and 6. Garcia knocked down by Darren Smith.
Again, we see the 49ers trying to get to the screen pass, and you watch the film over the last 2 weeks. I know that the big plays against this defense have been off of the screen plays, but there were plays that were very well executed by the opposition offense, and actually 2 times, and Jim Haslett was very honest with us as we talked to him this weekend, they were in the wrong defense for the play that was called.
And he took the blame. He said, I made the call, not Rick Venturi. 49ers best in the NFL in these situations. 3rd and 6 plus. 41%. 3 wide receivers. Garcia to Owens. Terrell Owens down to the Saints 14-yard line. He needed 6. He gained 31.
Terrell Owens will face double teams and bracket coverages all day, but the one thing he does is he never gives up. He continues to work. You see right there, the only thing he gets lucky with right there is look at how loose that ball was. He's very fortunate. He's got to get that ball put away. There you see him breaking right across the face of Fakir Brown, going in front and not trying to make something happen and going behind, which would lead to an interception, and then a nice job of running after the catch.
So Owens going across the middle. For his first reception, he gained 31 yards. Garcia on 1st down to the end zone, and Owens takes a shot from Fred Thomas. Saints want to be very physical today with Terrell Owens.
Well, you know, you go back and from the start of the season, the New York Giants and every opponent that they have played since that point, what they have done has been very physical with the wide receiver, whether it's at the release point with the jams or getting big hits on him as they come across on these crossing routes. You see Fred Thomas right there. That's a great hit early in this football game. We'll see if that affects Terrell Owens as the game wears on.
Even Jim Haslett hit Owens along the sidelines last year.
He's going to face it from everybody on that field today.
Here's Hurst Down to the 11-yard line. Gain of 3. Darren Smith, the tackle, along with Charles Grant. Owens caught a pass last year against the Saints. He was knocked out of bounds, and Haslett, he said, I lined him up. I nailed him. And Owens turned around and said, you all right, coach?
Yeah, you know, Jim Haslett was a tough physical player, but these guys nowadays are getting big. And Coach Haslett said, he goes, boy, you know, it kind of makes you wonder when you give your best shot to the wide receiver and you can't even move him off his feet.
Haslett may hit harder than some of his players. 3rd down and 7. 4 wide receivers set. Garcia steps up, dumps it off to Hurst. Close to the marker. Cedric Hodge, first Saint, in on the stop. Hurst had to get down to the 4-yard line for a first down, and he's close. This is the chains.
And this is an area of concern for Jim Haslett. He was not happy with the way his defense performed last week in the red zone. They were 5 for 5 with touchdowns over the last 2 games, and a lot of that coming last week. So he's challenged his defense. If they get into this area of the field, we've got to hold them to field goals and not allow touchdowns. And again, a conversion on a 3rd and 6+ by the San Francisco 49er offense.
Garcia in the red zone. Last 3 seasons has incredible numbers. Only 2 turnovers, 54 touchdowns.
That's remarkable. That just shows where this team has come from. One of the big reasons they do not miss opportunities in the red zone.
1st and goal from the 4. Hurst ran into left guard Eric Heitman, and then was forced back.
Well, you've got to be able to run the ball when you get down and deep in the red zone. Right here, a nice job by the New Orleans Saints defensive line. Just stands up. Eric Heitman actually makes the tackle while fighting off the block. Grady Jackson, he has really been a pleasant surprise for this New Orleans Saints offense. He has really become the heart and soul of that interior line.
Came to New Orleans following 5 years in Oakland. 11th play of the drive. Garcia looking end zone. Incomplete. Cedric Wilson, the intended receiver. Fred Thomas on the coverage.
He's got Charles Grant right in his face. Charles Grant, a rookie, playing very much not like a rookie this season. He has got a tremendous motor. You have got to get him accounted for from the outside.
Grant starting for the injured Willie Whitehead. Getting the crowd revved up. Over 68,000 on their feet. 3rd and goal. Streets and Owens split to the right. Wilson to the left. First the lone back. Garcia lofting one to Owens. Touchdown 49ers. No pen in his sock today.
And that's just an unfair matchup right there. Terrell Owens against Fakir Brown in a jump ball situation. I agree with Jeff Garcia's decision. I'll take my chance all the time.
Owens flipping the ball up without a signature.
Well, you see out here, they've got man-to-man situations. Jay Bellamy inside actually working double coverage on Ty Streets. Jeff Garcia does a great job of recognizing the one-on-one and just gets the ball up in the air and lets Terrell Owens make a play for the touchdown. A chance to catch the football in an NFL game.
Michael Lewis returned a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown last week against Washington. Lewis knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line following a 38-yard return. Saints 1st and 10 from their own 42 after the 49ers drove 77 yards for a touchdown on their opening drive. Brooks' pass is nearly picked off by Ahmed Plummer. Saints wanted a flag. Jerome Pathon, inactive for the 3rd straight week, and only Brett Favre has thrown more touchdowns in the NFC than Aaron Brooks. Here's McAllister. Saints want him to get at least 25 touches today. And he gains 3 on his first carry, setting up third down. And defensive coordinator Jim Mora, son of a longtime Saints head coach. Brooks out of the shotgun. And on third down and 7, McAllister looks to have the first down. Gain of 8 on the play.
They do a direct snap to Deuce McAllister in the shotgun. Watch the ball come right to number 26 on your screen. It's a direct snap right there. They put the bunch formation out to the right. They get the focus of the defensive attention out that way. Then Aaron Brooks actually sprints to the right side, but they've snuck the ball to Deuce McAllister going left.
So the Saints move the chains. David Sloan, the tight end, shifting. Pathon split to the left, Horn to the right. From the 47, it's McAllister up the middle. Down to the 42-yard line, a gain of 5 on the first down carry by McAllister. McAllister leading the NFC in rushing, 4th in the NFL. Behind only Priest Holmes, LaDainian Tomlinson, and the former Saint Ricky Williams.
And that is the type of run right there that has really grabbed the attention of the New Orleans Saints offensive line. They knew that Deuce McAllister had the speed to break plays on the perimeter, but they have been very impressed with his toughness running between the tackles this season.
49ers have forced a turnover on the opening drive 4 times this year. On 2nd and 5, it's McAllister again, working his way down to the 41-yard line, a gain of 2. Dana Stubblefield made the tackle. So a third down and 3 coming up for the Saints as they shuffle personnel. Saints 5th in the league on third down. Michael Lewis in motion to the left. Some trickery from Jim Haslett. Michael Lewis, first down and more. On the reverse. A gain of 15 yards.
Well, we were at practice on Friday afternoon, and we actually saw this play twice because it was done so poorly. Jim Haslett had him start the team session all over again. They make no mistake this time. Michael Lewis continues to be a guy that they're trying to find a way to get the ball to on the perimeter. He's got tremendous speed. This is just a well-run play. He's got Spencer Folau out in front of him to take care of anything that's out there. Good job, 71, getting downfield and getting the block.
Offensive coordinator Mike McCarthy. A direct snap and a reverse on the opening drive.
Well, he is holding nothing back against this 49er defense.
From the 26, Brooks complete. Joe Horn for a Saints first down as we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Kenny and Darrell, I tell you, when Marshall Faulk gets upset, he definitely performs. Out of the backfield, Mark Bulger throws it to him. Excellent second effort by Faulk. That's the score. 7-0 Rams. That in the first. Back to Kenny and Darrell.
All right, JB, and many of the 49ers we spoke to, including defensive coordinator Jim Mora, compared Deuce McAllister to Marshall Faulk this week.
Yeah, he's going to have to continue to play the way he has played the first 5-6 weeks of the season on a regular basis before he reaches Marshall Faulk status.
Here comes the blitz. Brooks complete inside the 5, brought down at the 4. Jake Reed.
Deuce McAllister does the nice job in protection to give Aaron Brooks the time. He steps up, gets the blitzer, Tony Parrish, as he's right in his face. And Jake Reed now, 2 weeks in a row, he's contributed big plays in the passing game. And those are the weapons that we're talking about for Aaron Brooks. When you're worried about Joe Horn, when you're worried about Michael Lewis and Deuce McAllister, all of a sudden a guy like Jake Reed finds some single coverage and starts to make some plays.
Reed has stepped up in the absence of the injured Dante Stallworth. Gain of 10 on the play, setting up first and goal. 3 tight ends set. McAllister brought down at the 3-yard line after a gain of 1.
Now on the other side of the ball, Jim Haslett concerned about his defense allowing touchdowns and not forcing field goals. But last week versus the Redskins, as they got the ball deep in Redskin territory on turnovers, the first 4 drives, actually not doing all that great in the red zone. So this is his other concern. Now they have got to get in. They've got to match the touchdown that the 49ers got. They can't kick field goals.
Saints scored only 2 red zone touchdowns in 6 trips last week against the Redskins. Brooks rolling right, looking end zone, and steps out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Forced out by Salim Rashid, 3rd-round pick out of Alabama.
And that's a full sellout play action pass, and Lamont Hall, the only receiver out on a route right there. He was well covered in the corner of the end zone. But that is the process that Aaron Brooks has gone through. You can see how mature he is. He doesn't try to force the ball into an area where it shouldn't go and take a chance on that turnover. He decides to try and run it in, use his athletic ability.
Rashid credited with a sack on the play, a loss of a yard. 10th play of the drive for the Saints. 3rd and goal. Off the play fake. Brooks to the end zone. Touchdown, McAllister.
And there's some of the problems that this offense can pose to you. They fake the reverse to Joe Horn. They slip Deuce McAllister out underneath. He's also got Jake Reed and Jerome Pathon coming open in the back of the end zone. Just too many guys to cover now. There's so many weapons offensively for the Saints football team.
Many options. John Carney ties the game at 7. Turned by Lewis to set up the field position for the Saints. From the 5-yard line, Jimmy Williams, and he is brought down at the 16-yard line by Steve Gleason. Terrific special teams play.
They go to run a kickoff return.
And the 49ers have had their problems returning kicks, ranked next to last in the league this season. Play action on 1st down, of the pass caught by Ty Streets, his 2nd reception, all the way up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 22 yards, finally run down by Cedric Hodge.
Well, we talked about the weapons for the New Orleans Saints offense, but you look at San Francisco, and they seem to have the same situation on the offensive side of the ball with their wide receivers and their running backs. And Ty Streets is really taking advantage of all the double coverage that Terrell Owens is getting over the last 2 games. Just 2 really nice games previously coming into this, and a great start this afternoon.
And Garcia has spread the ball around, 2 receptions apiece for Streets, Owens, and Hurst. This is Kevin Barlow up the middle for a gain of 8. Hurst and Barlow continue to alternate series, and Steve Mariucci says it keeps Hurst fresh, coming off another surgery 2 years ago.
And actually a philosophy of Steve Mariucci, not just a situation that he finds himself in with 2 very good running backs, but it's something that he's always felt strongly about, going all the way back to his time at Cal, where he actually had 2 running backs rush for over 1,000 yards in a collegiate season. He really feels that it pays dividends in the 4th quarter of football games and then in November and December of the regular season.
Hurst back in as the lone back on 2nd and 2, 3 wide receivers. And Garcia's pass is caught for a 1st down. It's Streets again, his 3rd reception. Ken Irvin made the tackle. Gain of 15 yards from Garcia to Streets.
Well, you can't double cover everybody that's on the football field. And if you're concerned about Terrell Owens and you're worried about them getting the tight end down the middle of the field and what's Garrison Hurst going to do in the running game, all of a sudden Ty Streets has got to be the guy that has to step up and make plays. And he continues to do that early in part of this football game.
Streets in his 4th year out of Michigan. 3 catches today, 50 yards. From the Saints 38, Barlow. And he's tackled at the 32-yard line by Darren Smith after a gain of 6.
And I am really impressed by Kevin Barlow watching him on film. He's a big physical running back, but watch the feet that he has during the course of this football game. He has tremendous moves, great balance, great agility for a big guy, and you'll always see him getting a guy out of position, and the strength and size that he has to run through arm tackles.
Following a 6-yard pickup by Barlow. 2nd and 4. Barlow and Beasley in the backfield. It's Barlow again. Nice change of direction. And he picks up the first down. Down to the Saints 27. Once again, he gains 6.
And one of the things that he does so well is he is not going full speed when he gets the football. He is a very, very patient runner. He waits until the holes open up, and then he explodes through them. And when you're a guy as big as Kevin Barlow is, you're not going to be brought down by an arm tackle.
So the 49ers on the move once again as the first quarter comes to an end. 2 long scoring drives. Fox NFL Sunday will continue in a moment. In the 6 Saints games this season, scored the most second quarter points in the NFL. Garcia from the shotgun. Takes off. Did not find anyone downfield and slides for the first down inside the 15-yard line.
And that's one of the things you just cannot account for as a defense is the scrambling ability of the quarterback. When you get into man-to-man coverage situations, watch the middle of the field open up. You've only got one player here in the middle of the field. He is guarding 35 yards of field. Jeff Garcia gets through the area, and now you've got guys with their backs turned chasing receivers. Some of these guys don't even realize that Jeff's pulled the ball down and is running with it.
He is the 4th leading rusher among quarterbacks in the NFL, trailing McNabb, Vick, and Culpepper. Garcia's next. Garcia on first down, dumps it off to Barlow inside the 5. He fumbles, and it's recovered in the end zone, but once he ruled down by contact, he was, and this cannot be reviewed. If a player is ruled down by contact, it is not reviewable.
Kevin Barlow does a great job of just getting upfield immediately once he catches that football, and obviously right there you see that was the fumble came as a result of hitting the ground. He's down right there. The ball still in possession. Great call by the referees.
Gain of 12 on the play. Hurst. He loses the football. And the ruling is a touchdown. He was in before he lost the football. And the 49ers have regained the lead.
Just a quick little inside play to Garrison Hurst. He breaks the plane, and there comes the ball. So 2 close calls by each of the running backs. Again, he breaks the plane, and then the ball comes loose.
2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Hurst. Cortez adds takes Jared Washburn deep. Giants win it 4-3. Game 2 tonight on Fox. Michael Lewis brought down shy of the 20-yard line. They lost their last 4 games last season by an average of 27 points per game. This year, 5-1. And they trailed today 14-7. McAllister. Deuce McAllister down the sideline. Forced out of bounds at the San Francisco 28. A 56-yard run, his 3rd run this season of more than 50 yards. No one else in the league has done it more than once.
And he makes it look so easy. You do not realize how fast he is going. Watch him turn the corner right here and just get into another gear. But it is so effortless when he runs that you don't realize he's already up to full speed. Nice block by LaCharles Bentley to get that play started.
It's only game 7, and McAllister has runs of 62, 52, and now 56 yards. From the 49ers 28, off the play fake. Pass is caught by Lewis. He fumbles. Ball is loose, and the 49ers have recovered. Andre Carter scooped it up.
That's great hustle by Andre Carter to get out where the fumble is. He's a defensive end coming from the right side of your screen. Watch him stop and retrace. Fumble comes from Julian Peterson's hit, I think. A big scramble there. Actually, it looks like his own man, Kendall Jaycox, knocked it out.
Kendall Jaycox in the middle. The Saints left guard inadvertently forcing the ball out of the hands of Michael Lewis. So the 49ers go back to work as Hurst gains 4 up to the 35.
Kendall Jaycox, he's right here. You see the hand come in. It looks as though he's trying to avoid Michael Lewis, and he gets that hand right on top of the ball and knocks it out. That's just a guy hustling out on the perimeter on that quick screen to try and get a block. And sometimes bad things just tend to happen. You hear a lot of people talk about turnover ratio, but more important than that is what you do when you get the turnovers, or how your defense makes a stand when there's a turnover by your offense. You look at that list of teams and their records. That's the reason that turnovers become so critical in games.
Pass is caught by Owens for the first down. So the 49ers have scored 28 more points off turnovers than they've allowed. They were a plus 28 on that list.
And the great thing that they do is they don't turn the ball over very much at all. And their defense has only given up 7 points off of the turnovers that they have had this season. So when you're not beating yourselves, you got a chance to be a good football team.
49ers have committed only 4 turnovers. Garcia intercepted 3 times. He fumbled once, and they have not turned the ball over, Darryl, in their last 24 offensive possessions. Harrison Hurst cuts to the outside, turns the corner, out of bounds at the 46-yard line, about 6 yards shy of the marker. Forced out by Sammy Knight.
Well, we got some good running backs on the football field today with Garrison Hurst and Kevin Barlow and Deuce McAllister. And you'll watch all 3 of these guys. They are so patient when they get the ball. They are not going full speed when they get the ball. They let the play develop. And you saw right there, Garrison Hurst kind of gives him a little lean like he's going to cut inside, then bounces to the outside. It's very difficult to get onto the perimeter in the NFL today because of the speed. You've got to be smart as a running back to turn that corner.
Now second down and 6, 4 wide receivers. Owens in motion to the left. Garcia has hit on his last 5 pass attempts. Can't find anyone. Under pressure. He escapes. And he stopped about a yard shy of the marker, out of bounds at the 49 as we check in with James Brown.
Hey, Kenny, rough start for Dante Culpepper. The Vikings here ruining an 18-play drive, throwing his 2nd pick of the day. That's his 11th of the season, most in the NFL. That one picked off by Mo Lewis, preserving the Jets' 3-0 lead. Back to Kenny Albert and Darryl Johnston.
All right, thanks, JB. Vikings and Jets have both won only 1 game so far this season. 3rd down and 1. 49ers 3 for 3 today on 3rd down. The inside handoff to the fullback. When you need a yard, Darryl, you hand off to the fullback. And it's Fred Beasley who picks up the first.
You just hope that the guys up front don't take a play off, because it's not Garrison Hurst or Kevin Barlow getting the ball. But Fred Beasley's become a very important part of this San Francisco 49ers offense, mainly as a blocker, but in this case as a tough inside runner.
So Beasley picks up the first down. 49ers now 4 for 4 on 3rd down plays. 49ers with touchdown drives of 77 and 83 yards today. Working to capitalize on this drive on the Saints turnover. Garcia to the tight end, Eric Johnson, and he takes a hard hit from the free safety, Jay Bellamy, after a gain of 8.
Wow. That was a play that was designed to roll out to the right, and a throwback to Terrell Owens on the backside. Jeff Garcia does a good job of finding Eric Johnson coming across the middle, but Jay Bellamy also knew who was coming across the middle. That is a huge hit. What a good job of holding on to the football by Eric Johnson.
Johnson, the 2nd-year tight end out of Yale. He was a wide receiver at Yale.
You don't get hit like that as a wide receiver at Yale very often.
Nope. 2nd down and 2. 3 wide receivers. Hurst up the middle. First down and more. Inside the 20. Down to the 10-yard line. 29-yard pickup by Hurst.
And he just exploded through that hole. You got the lead block by Fred Beasley. He sees that hole right now. Look at that. That's just a great lane created by the offensive line and the fullback. And look at him explode through that hole. San Francisco is a very, very good running football team. I don't think they get the credit. I think everybody thinks West Coast offense and the short controlled passing game, but they can run the ball very, very well.
They lead the league, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. First and goal from the Saints 9. 49ers leading 14-7. Garcia with time. Now throws, looking for Owens, and he threw it away.
It's part of that decision-making process that everybody praises Jeff Garcia about. He doesn't make mistakes, and Jim Haslett knows that his defense is going to have to play well because Jeff Garcia is not going to give them an easy one.
49ers, Darrell, have already scored twice in the red zone today, so the Saints opponents have scored 7 consecutive red zone touchdowns. And for the Saints, Norman Hand has gone to the locker room. He's been replaced by Martin Chase. Second and goal. Hurst tackled at the 6-yard line with Martin Chase leading the way.
49ers testing the inside. Martin Chase right here is your defensive tackle. If Norman Hand's not in that lineup, I'm going to see how strong they're going to play in that middle of the field because he is a force along with Grady Jackson. Good play by Martin Chase.
So the 49ers now facing third and goal from the 6. They are perfect today on third down, 4 for 4, and 1 touchdown. Garcia rolling right, under pressure, and he's taken down. Got rid of the football. It was Grant, the rookie from Georgia, in pursuit.
Charles Grant is so athletic at the defensive end position. Watch him close the gap on Jeff Garcia. He is upfield immediately. Jeff Garcia usually runs away from a defensive end in that situation. That shows you the athleticism of Charles Grant.
No sack on the play, an incompletion for Garcia. So now Cortez, who has hit his last 9 field goal attempts, out to attempt a 24-yarder. Jason Baker is the holder. And Cortez extends the 49ers lead. It is now check local listings. Lewis with kick returns of 38 and 17 yards today. Out across the 35. Into 49ers territory. And finally tackled by Jason Moore after a 51-yard return. And Lewis, the reigning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, brought a kick and a punt back last week. First NFL player to do that in 25 years. So the Saints start in 49ers territory as pass by Brooks is caught by Boo Williams, but a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, that's not going to help your average right there. And one of the things that you will see Aaron Brooks do on first and second down is he will drift back and retreat to gain separation to throw the ball. And Boo Williams right there kind of lost track of where he was on the football field.
That's because he's usually in the end zone when he catches the ball. He has 2 previous catches this season, both for touchdowns.
Well, yeah, better than -3, that's for sure.
So a 2nd and 13 now, 3 wide receivers. And Brooks dumps it off to McAllister. Fights his way back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Saints now facing a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and this is not the situation you want to get into. Their defense just makes a big stop, forces the field goal. You get a great kickoff return into 49er territory, and you've come out and had 2 kind of ineffective plays on 1st and 2nd down.
Both teams have been outstanding on 3rd downs today. Both in the top 5 in the league for the season. Saints have to get to the 37 for a first. And they do. Actually get to the 27. So 10 extra yards. Gain of 20 from Brooks to Joe Horn.
What we see this week in and week out, these guys are just making plays on 3rd and long. Joe Horn just runs a nice little curl route, but watch when he gets the ball. He pulls it down immediately and gets it tucked away so the ball can't be knocked loose. He knows that that defender is bearing down on him. These are some of the fine points that for young guys that want to play the game of football. Look at how smart that is by Joe Horn to get that ball put away.
You see what Horn said in the paper today? He said, I'm going to score 3 touchdowns against the 49ers.
That's confidence.
McAllister bottled up. Joe Horn certainly has confidence. Just over 5 minutes to play, second quarter. 17-7 lead for the 49ers. 2 long touchdown drives, and then they capitalized on the only turnover of the game. Bills and Dolphins tied at 10. Late second quarter as we check out other scores. Curtis Keaton has checked in. Brooks pump fakes, now rolling right and throws, but it was caught on a hop by Jerome Pathon. As we check in once again with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Diverty to Chad Pennington.
Play clock winding down. Brooks on 3rd and 10, broken up. Nice play. Jason Webster.
But you can't continue to put yourself in 3rd and long situations. Very fortunate on the last 3rd and 10 to be able to convert, and that's not the situation you want to be. You'll hear people talk about staying ahead of the chains and managing the down situations, and they just had some ineffective plays on 1st and 2nd down their last two series.
So a long field goal attempt, Darryl, a 46-yard attempt for John Carney. If he hits, it would be the 300th field goal of his career. He does. Carney, the 13th kicker in NFL history to hit 300 field goal attempts. In the crowd. What did you think of the Sharpie incident on Monday night?
I don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be right now.
Jimmy Williams, Louisiana native, on the return. Out to the 20. 49ers start from their own 23-yard line as Garcia dumps it off to the fullback Beasley for a gain of 7.
And in regards to the Sharpie incident, you know, the one that bothered me was a few years ago when Terrell Owens went out to the Star at Irving, Texas, and you know, to me that was something that was taunting and inappropriate. What he did on Monday night, you know, maybe not everybody would do that in that situation, but he's trying to be creative and be an individual, and I just don't think it's as big a problem or as big of an incident as people are making it out to be.
Here's Barlow, stopped about a yard shy of the marker. Why am I not surprised that a former Cowboy was bothered by the incident in Dallas?
Well, you do have a little bit of that. You see right here, you know, that was a great rivalry when I played against the 49ers, and I felt that was belittling that, and Terrell wasn't a part of that. And to me, you know, maybe I'm thinking of that situation when all this talk about the Sharpies going on, and to me it just absolutely pales in comparison. I know that John Randall and Mike Holmgren were upset, but they were also on the losing end of that game. Right. Most of the other people that have spoken up about it across the country aren't really giving it a whole lot of credit.
A penalty marker on 3rd and 1. And that's our first flag, first penalty marker of the game.
It has been a very well-played first half up until this point.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start, offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, it's still 3rd down.
You know, the Saints didn't seem to have a problem with it. Looking at the actions of Terrell Owens from the outside, Coach Jim Haslett said it was amusing and innovative. And at practice on Thursday, Joe Horn caught a pass, pulled out a Sharpie, signed the football, and handed it to Saints owner Tom Benson.
Yeah, and you saw in the pregame show where Michael Ricks actually simulated signing a ball on Sunday, so it's not even original on top of everything else. So hopefully this situation will just die down.
3rd down and 6. And Garcia's pass out at the 33-yard line is caught by Streets, but stopped about a half-yard shy of marker.
New Orleans Saints questioning whether he was able to get this ball put away. You can see right there, he did not catch that football.
But
no harm, no foul in this situation. The 49ers elect to punt, so Jim Haslett, a nice job by not jumping the gun right there and throwing the red flag out and losing a timeout when he's getting the ball back anyways.
That's right. He will not challenge because the 49ers will set up to punt. Now they'll bring out the chains. And Haslett is right there looking on. At a yard shy.
Brian Cox, in the center of your screen right there, he's going to be a key part in this phase of the special teams game for the New Orleans Saints. He is the guy who drops back and secures the catch by Michael Lewis. He is not responsible for any one individual. He drops back and takes the first opposite color that he sees near the catch point.
How about that? A 12-year veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler playing on special teams. And Jim Haslett told us Cox had the key block on both Lewis return touchdowns last week.
And that's the type of guy you have to have on your football team and in your locker room when you are a young football team. And the Saints are a young football team. When you've got a guy that's the first one to show up for workouts, the last one to leave the film room, and he's a 12-year veteran, that sets a great standard for your young players to follow.
We just had our first penalty flag moments ago. This will be the first punt of the game, and 49ers will not get it off as we hit the 2-minute warning.
That's the 2-minute.
First punt of the game on either side. Lewis at the 21, and he is met immediately. Terrific hang time, and then 4 wide receivers, 3 split to the right. And Brooks' pass was deflected at the line. He was looking for Joe Horn.
We got away with one right there with that deflected pass right into the middle of the field. Very fortunate that there was not a 49er defender right there. Cheeky O'Keefer getting up, getting a deflection right there.
367 total yards in the game, only 1 penalty, 1 punt, and the teams a combined 8 for 11 on 3rd down. McAllister, big burst up the middle, out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 13.
I really like this play. This is one of their staple plays. Starts off to look like a toss sweep,
Please reset the clock.
but then Deuce McAllister gets down. Has the ability to stretch in your passing game. It's a huge bonus.
Now Brooks out of the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the 35. Brooks with time, and the pass is caught by Jake Reed. Penalty marker. Reed out of bounds at the 49ers 38-yard line after a gain of 27. But it will be brought back.
Holding offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The play still results in a 1st down.
Michael Lewis.
And you got to have your wide to Michael Lewis right there.
It's the first Saints penalty today. Brooks complete again, and brought down at the 41-yard line was Reed. Clock continues to run. He tried to get out of bounds but could not. Good play by Ahmed Plummer to keep him inbounds.
Jake Reed trying to get to the sideline and stop that clock, but as he goes out, he is not moving forward. And actually, you can see right there, he stretches out, gets the ball out of bounds, but he was moving laterally, so that clock continues to run.
Saints have 2 timeouts. Brooks pump fakes on 2nd and 1. Complete to McAllister, has the 1st down and stops the clock with 55 seconds remaining in the half. A gain of 5 and a Saints 1st down.
Boy, did he make that look easy. That is not an easy catch. And this is thrown low on his back shoulder, and he goes down and gets this ball. He does not even break stride. Right off the fingertips. I tell you, this guy is making things look very, very easy on the football field today.
Saints traded Ricky Williams, and they're rooting for Ricky to do well. If he gains 1,200 yards, the 3rd-round pick becomes a 2nd-round pick. If he gains 1,500, Saints get an extra 1st-round pick. So they're rooting for Deuce, rooting for Ricky. Brooks, pump fakes, looking for Jerome Pathon, overthrown.
That's a nice thrown ball by Aaron Brooks right there. The only person who's got a chance to catch that is Jerome Pathon. He's double covered with help from the inside safety, but he puts it right out by the pylon. The only one who's going to make a play on that football is Jerome Pathon. The San Francisco 49er defenders were not going to be able to get to that.
Pathon seeing more time in the absence of Dante Stallworth, the explosive rookie who was out for the third straight game due to a hamstring injury. 4 wide receivers set, 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Brooks looking to take off, and he is driven back. Jim Flanagan, former Packer and Bear, a loss of 6 on the sack. Saints call their 2nd timeout. Third and 10 for the Saints, back at the 42-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Brooks takes off and is brought down at the 37, a gain of 5.
Interesting situation right here for Jim Haslett. This is going to be about a 54-yard field goal attempt if he was to elect to do it on 4th down. His other option to try and convert the 4th down or take a shot into the end zone as he lets this clock run down.
Carney's career long is 54. And now timeout is clamped, is 56. Toby going the holder. And Carney's kick from 55 is just short. So the first half comes to an end as the 49ers lead the Saints by the score of 17-10. Some big 17 in the last one, 51 yards. Lewis from the 11. And he's brought down at the 28-yard line. Only a 17-yard return.
Long. They've kind of moved away from getting Deuce the football.
Saints are averaging 31 points per game. They've scored only 10. Here's McAllister for a gain of 2. He had a big first half. As we take a look back.
He got off to a great start with a big run, his third 50-plus yard run of the season. They had a fumble shortly after that. Again, between the tackles and then the touchdown reception from Aaron Brooks. So a guy who can do just about anything for you offensively. You can't forget about him. I know that we've talked about them having a lot of weapons, but don't forget about the guy who, to me, is probably your #1 weapon. You've got to keep Deuce involved in this football game.
On 2nd and 8, play action, and the pass is caught by Joe Horn for a first down. Out at the 47-yard line, a gain of 16 on the play.
Aaron Brooks can fit the ball into some tight areas. This is a well-covered route by the 49er defense. You see Joe Horn right there. You see the 2 49ers, Derek Smith and Julian Peterson, underneath. He just fits his ball into a very, very small opening.
Third catch of the game for Horn, who has a pair of 100-yard receiving games this season. From the 47, off the fake to McAllister. Brooks looking for Horn, and Horn could not hold on.
There's one of those missed opportunities that you see during the course of a critical football game. Joe Horn on just a simple go route downfield. The ball is a little bit underthrown. He does a good job of coming back to make a play on it, battling with Ahmad Plummer. He's in great position to make that catch. It just bounces off his hands.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 47. McAllister up to midfield, a gain of 3 on the play. Setting up 3rd down and 7. Mike Rumpf, #1 draft pick, heading off into the huddle. Mike McCarthy, Saints offensive coordinator. On 3rd down and 7. 3 wide receivers set. Brooks for the first down as Jake Reed makes his 4th catch of the game for a gain of 10.
Aaron Brooks is very poised in the pocket right now. You'll see the blitz coming in from the left side of your screen. He sees it the whole way, just stands and delivers a nice route by Jake Reed. He does a good job selling that crossing route, snaps it off and comes back. He's been key on some of these drives, extending them with his 3rd down catches.
Jake Reed, a guy who had a number of productive seasons in Minnesota. Was with the Saints in 2000, went back to the Vikings, and now back to the Saints. The toss to McAllister. And Deuce fights his way ahead for a gain of 1 to the 49ers 39.
Every once in a while you have one of those running plays. It just doesn't look good from the start, and this was one of those for the New Orleans Saints. They've got people running everywhere. Aaron Brooks very fortunate that he was not knocked off balance by Terrell Smith as he went through. There was some penetration in the offensive line by the San Francisco defense. That was not one of your well-designed running plays.
Picked up just 1. Setting up 2nd down and 9. 3 tight end set for the Saints. The handoff to McAllister. And he's brought down by Derek Smith. No gain on the play. So a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 coming up now for the Saints.
Well, that's one of the plays that I don't think is going to be real successful against the San Francisco 49er front 7. They are too athletic to just run a simple stretch play to the outside. The New Orleans Saints are one of the few offensive lines that can zone block well and pull and trap well. I really feel that in today's football game they should rely a little bit more on that pulling and trapping scheme. They've got big tackles that like to penetrate, and Deuce is a very, very good between the tackle runner.
Saints have to get to the 30. They are 5 for 7 on 3rd down today. Brooks complete. Joe Horn for the first down. Mason Webster made the tackle. Gain of 13 from Brooks to Horn as they capitalize again on 3rd down.
And they have found an area out here in the San Francisco 49ers zone coverage that is opening up. They've got Joe Horn out there. You see everybody backing off, expecting him to get vertical. He's snapping off these routes right around your 1st down marker. That's a nice, that just becomes a simple throw and catch between Aaron Brooks and Joe Horn.
9th play of the drive from the San Francisco 26. McAllister fights his way back to the line of scrimmage and then picks up 1. Chike O'Keefer made the tackle. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Saints, who trail by 7. 5 minutes in, 3rd quarter from New Orleans. The Saints with a record of 5-1. They have already beaten 4 playoff teams from a season ago. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. Their only loss suffered at the hands of the 1-4 Detroit Lions. On 2nd and 9. And off to the workhorse, McAllister, and a loss of 1. Jim Flanagan getting through for the 49ers.
Jim Flanagan, he was responsible for that sack at the end of the 1st half. Kind of one of those unsung guys. You see him just beating a couple guys with a nice move, and he is, you hear a lot about motor guys and guys that just don't give up on a play, are always moving 100 miles an hour upfield. There may not be many as good as Jim Flanagan that fit that description, and he's undersized, and he's never supposed to be able to do this, and he's not supposed to be able to do that, but all he does is continue to make plays for this defense when he gets an opportunity.
He just looks like a football player. 3rd down and 10. Brooks out of the shotgun. And the pass is caught for a 1st down. Jerome Pathon. Well, Brooks hit Horn on 3rd and 9 for a 1st down, and now they move the chains again on 3rd and 10 to Pathon.
And here's one of these new weapons that the New Orleans Saints offense acquired in the offseason. A great release by Jerome Pathon right there on Ahmed Plummer. He gets him to turn his hips to the outside and beats him across his face immediately. That route was won in the first 2 steps on the release by Jerome Pathon.
What does it mean when you hear it beats him across his face?
Well, he stepped outside, he got him at Plummer to turn, and then he just comes right across his face and gets to the inside on that quick slant route.
The handoff to Curtis Keaton. Only his second carry of the season, and he loses a yard. Keaton acquired at the start of the year from the Cincinnati Bengals. Gave McAllister a blow. McAllister only 6 yards on his last 6 carries.
Yeah, the San Francisco 49er front seven is doing a great job. I don't know if they talked about something at halftime, but the second half, starting out on this drive, they have really stuffed the New Orleans Saints run game right now.
Second and goal from the 8. 4 wide receivers set. McAllister the lone back. Brooks rolling right. And he throws it away. He was under pressure from Chike O'Keefer and Brian Young.
Well, they're on the hashes right here, so they're actually sprinting into the sideline, into the short side of the field, and you'll see this design of a play on a lot of third down and red zone attempts. I'm not a big fan of it, especially when you've got a guy as athletic and mobile as Aaron Brooks. I think it's a very good call in situations, but I don't think that that's one of them right there. You can see the day that Aaron Brooks has had. He has been knocked around a little bit and hurried in his throws during the course of the afternoon so far.
Third and goal. Penalty markers.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's Kyle Turley, the left tackle.
Kyle showing a lot of restraint there as Dana Stubblefield was motioning the penalty and probably giving him a few encouraging words right in his ear. But you see the penalties there. It has been a very, very well-played football game up to this point in that regard. But we talk about teams that struggle in the red zone. Here's one of the things that I think goes unnoticed is penalties in the red zone, especially a pre-snap penalty like we just had on that last play. Really puts you in a very difficult situation.
Saints on this drive are 3 for 3 on third down. Brooks to the end zone looking for Horn. Tony Parrish and Derek Smith on the coverage. So Jim Haslett will send out the field goal unit.
You can see the confidence that Aaron Brooks has, not only his ability to deliver the ball, but his receivers to make a play. That is a well-covered play by Tony Parrish and Derek Smith. Aaron Brooks with the confidence to give Joe Horn the opportunity to make a play.
So John Carney, who hit from 46 and then was just short from 55, will attempt a 31-yard field goal. Earlier, made the 300th field goal of his NFL career.
Kicks away.
And the longtime Charger is now 2 for 3 today as he pulls the Saints to within 4. One Friday, one Saturday.
There are none better than down here in New Orleans.
Kickoff taken at the 3 by Jamal Robertson. And Robertson spins out to the 34-yard line. A 31-yard return. The final 4 games by an average of 27 points. Garcia looking for Owens. And it was broken up. Bakir Brown on the coverage.
Well, we've seen Michael Lewis and what they're doing from a scheme point on returns, but as a coverage team, this is an area called the speed and read zone. You'll see people cross or guys use their speed to beat a defender. When they get out towards midfield, what they have to do now, they get into the button press area. You've got to maintain that lane. When a guy comes to block you, you cannot run around him. You've got to butt him in the head and press him off you, because when that lane opens up by you trying to avoid him, that ball will find its way back.
Garrison Hurst up the middle for a gain of 7. So in that speed read zone, you can do whatever you want as long as you get back into your correct lane.
Yeah, you have the ability to use your speed to defeat the block by the return team. But once you get into that critical area of the field where you're getting down, where the returner will be coming your way, you can't leave your lane to defeat your blocker. You've got to actually make contact, get him off of you, and then try to slide off and make a play, because it's amazing how a football will find its way back to an open lane.
Crowd on their feet, third down and 3. Garcia gets rid of it. And it's caught by the fullback, Fred Beasley, for a first down, and that brings a smile to Darryl Johnston's face.
Fred's had a couple plays here where he's moved the chains. A 3rd and 1 rush earlier in the game, and now a nice reception here. But watch Jeff Garcia. That's where it all starts. I mean, he's got a group of people down at his feet. He hops up in the air and is able to deliver that ball with enough zip to get it to Fred Beasley. He's got Grady Jackson coming right at his feet. He's got Darren Howard hopping over, trying to grab him by the shirt tail. A little bit ad-lib by Jeff Garcia.
From the 45. Garcia to the air again. Looking for Terrell Owens. Garcia has been so solid over the last couple of years. He's gone to a pair of Pro Bowls, first 49er quarterback in history. Throw 30 or more touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. Guy that wasn't drafted, went up to Canada, played 5 years in the CFL. But Bill Walsh was one of his big boosters. And he has become the next in line following Montana and Young. In fact, when you look at touchdown to interception ratio, Garcia is the best all time.
And that goes back to the decision making that he does as a quarterback. He does not take chances. He's a high percentage passer, and he's got that unique ability to scramble and make something happen.
On 2nd and 10, gain of just 1 as Hurst was tripped up by Jake Bellamy. Free safety, so a 3rd and 9 upcoming.
Well, both teams in the first half running the ball very effectively. The New Orleans Saints over 100 yards. The 49ers very close to 100 yards. But in the second half, both defensive fronts coming out, starting to take control of this game.
Charlie Clemens has checked in. Middle linebacker on 3rd and 9. 3 wide receivers. Garcia from the shotgun. And Garcia complete for the first down to Cedric Wilson. His 3rd reception of the season, 2nd-year man from Tennessee.
Well, the New Orleans Saints only rushed 3 defenders. They drop 8 back in coverage. Charles Grant with pressure on the outside, but look how Jeff Garcia moves. He moves laterally. He doesn't move up towards the line of scrimmage. As he moves laterally, people are working back to him to create an open space. We talked with Darren Smith. He said the scariest thing is when the pocket breaks down and Jeff Garcia gets out. You've got to lock onto your man in coverage. That zone defense all of a sudden breaks down into man-to-man coverage.
49ers on the move from the Saints 42. Garrison Hurst. Another big run. And the last man Hurst had to beat brings him down, Jay Bellamy, after a gain of 21 yards.
What a burst. You see the eyes, the vision of Garrison Hurst right there. Look at the little sidestep. He actually cuts that play backside. That was designed to go to the right. Garrison Hurst using his vision. And again, he's patient. Watch at the start of the play. He's not moving full speed till right there. That hole opens up and he explodes through it downfield into the secondary.
Hurst, the 2-time NFL Comeback Player of the Year, averaging 6.5 yards per carry today. From the 22, it's Owens. And Terrell Owens on the reverse takes it down to the 20 for a gain of just 2.
Garrison Hurst, another one of those guys you consider to be kind of a speed back, not a real punishing rusher, but look at that, 57 yards after contact, and that is the mark of a good running back. It's not being able to get big runs when there's nobody there. It's the ability to make that first guy miss who's unblocked in the hole, or to run through the arm tackle, or to break that first tackle at the line of scrimmage or just shortly downfield.
78 yards on the ground today for Hurst. 9th play of the drive. 2nd down and 8. Garcia chased by Howard. And Garcia dives down to the 12-yard line. Close to the first down marker.
The thing that makes him successful when he scrambles is how quick he makes the decision. Once he breaks outside, he knows right away whether he needs to pull that ball down and run it, or if he can try and drag the play out a little bit longer to allow his guys to get open. Right there, as soon as he came around contained, he knew that he wasn't going to have an opportunity to get that ball downfield, so he tucked it and headed right for the chains.
And he was stopped about a half yard shy So a third down and inches. Two tight ends. Garcia to Fred Beasley, and he picks up his third first down.
When you've got a guy like Terrell Owens and Ty Streets playing the way he has this afternoon, and Garrison Hurst is ripping off big runs, it's really easy to lose track of a guy like Fred Beasley, but he continues to move the chains in critical situations.
On all three first down plays, all three first downs picked up by Beasley. I look to my right. Darrell has a big smile on his face.
It's nice to see some teams still using the fullback effectively.
Well, Garcia has spread the ball around. He's hit 7 different receivers. He's completed 15 of 22. First and goal from the 8. Hurst into the end zone for his second touchdown today.
That is just a tremendous surge by the 49ers offensive line. That's what you talk about when you're running the ball effectively. Watch him move the line of scrimmage right here. Garrison Hurst is 4 yards downfield. Look at Ron Stone and Eric Heitman. They're 5 yards downfield. They have pushed their guy 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Cortez for the point after.
Is inside.
Ron Stone, a former teammate of yours in Dallas. Spent 3 years with the Cowboys and then 3 with the Giants. James Fenderson on the return as the 49ers keep it away from Michael. Saints have turned the ball over once. 49ers have not, and the 49ers have been more successful in the red zone.
Scoring touchdowns and not kicking field goals.
Now the Saints start with an empty backfield on first down as Brooks is complete to Horn. Another turnover if the 49ers can get to it in bounds, and they did not. Very fortunate are the Saints that no 49er could run it down in bounds.
Oh, that is one of those plays that just totally turns the tide of the football game. You are fighting to get back into it.
Stripped by Jeff Ulbrich, and Ned Hockley confirms that they could not get to it in bounds.
Ahmed Plummer, he made a heck of an effort. He tried to get his feet down on the sideline and then actually throw it back into the field of play. You'll see as he sprints after the football right here.
And fortunately for the Saints, Horn kicked the football. Otherwise, the 49ers would have recovered. And will Steve Mariucci challenge that it was recovered in bounds?
Yeah, absolutely. Take a shot at it. There it goes.
Bounds on the field initially. So the Saints continue. 2nd and 14, empty backfield. Brooks on 2nd and long, under pressure. O'Keefer gets away. Can't find it, it went downfield and then throws it away.
Well, the ability of a quarterback to extend a play by breaking contain and using his athletic ability is a two-part situation. Your guys down the field have to turn around and work their way back to the quarterback to get open. Otherwise, he's just running around trying to find somebody open. Well, watch the receivers as the route breaks down. Now, Aaron Brooks is on the move right now. You see your receivers around the field. Most of them actually on the opposite side of the field. So this is going to be very difficult. David Sloan continues to work downfield. The 49ers do a good job of getting back into coverage on really his only opportunity to Joe Horn on the sideline.
Now 3rd down and 14. Brooks to the far side and has the first down on 3rd and 14. A gain of 16 from Brooks to Pathon.
That is a big league throw right there. Opposite hash, all the way across the field on a timed out route, and he threw that kind of off his back foot. He did not step into that throw at all. Jerome Pathon does a nice job getting his feet down in bounds, but what a great throw by Aaron Brooks.
Saints now 8 for 11 on 3rd downs today. Brooks swings it out. We saw McAllister make a catch on a similar throw earlier, but this time could not hold on.
Well, you get that little swing route, and the ball tends to lead you upfield if it's thrown in the right place. Deuce McAllister might have taken a look downfield to see if there was a linebacker or a safety heading his way before he made that catch.
So with 22 seconds remaining, third quarter, Saints facing a 2nd and 10. We were tied at 7 after the first quarter. 49ers led 17-10 at the half. Here in the third, a 31-yard John Carney field goal pulled the Saints to within 4. And then Garrison Hurst's second rushing touchdown of the day extended the 49ers lead as Brooks
Timeout, New Orleans.
calls timeout.
That's their first.
Last night's game. Barry Bonds going deep in his first World Series at bat. Jeff Ulbrich with a hard hit, and then the helmet goes flying off the head of Jerome Pathon.
He was about to come out of a couple of tackles by Jeff Ulbrich and I think Derek Smith, and Julian Peterson came in and just finished him off. Referees are checking with him right now to make sure he knows what day it is.
Remember it, right?
Yeah, usually you don't remember him. You just kind of wake up on the sideline about 5 minutes later.
Remember who it was?
Oh, yeah.
Brooks to Horn, down to the 43 and a late penalty flag.
I'm not going to give him the pleasure to have his name announced on TV.
He knows initials.
He knows who he is. He knows who he is. I've talked to him about it before.
What team did he play for?
He played for the Green Bay Packers when he did it to me, but then he later played for the Washington Redskins. He now works for the Tennessee Titans.
I think I have an idea. I think you saw him 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we had a little reunion.
Officials discussing the penalty marker.
Pass interference defense, number 24. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
On it at the 42-yard line. Saints trailing by 11 early fourth quarter. McAllister looks to cut it back inside. Gains 2 as we check in once again with James Brown. JB.
Kenny and Darrell, high nights to have as coach. Kenny and Darrell.
And now Mike Vick's cousin, Aaron Brooks, behind center for the Saints on 2nd and 7. The second Cousins, and Brooks is taken down back at the 44-yard line.
Unfortunately, didn't have quite the success that his cousin did.
Loss of 5 on the play. Andre Carter continuing his stellar play today.
Yeah, and we haven't done a good enough job talking about Andre Carter. The bottom of your screen, a quick little move inside. He doesn't give up, and he talked to us about that he's one of those guys that he continues to move his feet. He never gives up on a play. And I have watched him in the last 2 weeks beat Chris Samuels and Walter Jones for sacks, multiple sacks, 2 of the better tackles in the NFL.
So another big third down play, 3rd down and 12. As Brooks steps up and throws, and it's complete. Pathon climbed the ladder to make the catch for another 3rd down conversion. The Saints are now 9 for 12 on 3rd down as Pathon gains 19.
49ers had difficulty getting the Seahawks off the field in 3rd down situations in the last game. Jerome Pathon working one-on-one. A nice little stick move to the outside. Mike Rumpf bit on that one hard. He breaks back to the inside. Nice little wiggle at the top of that route to get the separation.
The 49ers and Saints, Darrell, they combined 75% today on 3rd down.
It's a credit to both the offensive coordinators in this football game today.
From the San Francisco 25-yard line. Brooks looking end zone, looking Pathon, and a penalty flag. Jason Webster grabbed hold of Jerome Pathon.
Remember, this is the guy that just got his helmet knocked off a few plays ago, and we thought the officials were giving him a little test to make sure he was okay to continue to play.
Pass interference, defense, number 36. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, you got a man who's feeling it right now. Jerome Pathon is in the zone running these routes. That's just, you know, you're going to get flagged on that one. I don't know what Jason Webster, what type of defense he was playing right there, but that's going to get you a flag every time.
First and goal on the 10-yard line for the Saints. 3 wide receivers. Brooks to the end zone. Touchdown, Joe Horn. And Jim Haslett signaling that the Saints will go for 2.
Well, Aaron Brooks does a nice job backing out, finding the receiver. A quick delivery to Joe Horn. Again, a ball fitted very nicely into a tight area. Aaron Brooks has shown some very, very good accuracy throughout the course of the afternoon today, fitting these balls into areas that are very, very tight.
That's his 50th career touchdown pass in only 28 starts. And trailing by 5, the Saints will go for 2. They're 2 for 5 this season. Brooks running it in both times.
I don't agree with this call right now by Jim Haslett. Sometimes I think he goes for 2 points a little bit too early in the football game. We've got 12 and a half minutes to play right now. Kick the extra point, get the 24-20. If you make this, yeah, you're within a field goal, but what happens if the 49ers kick a field goal on their next possession to go 27 and you miss this at 19? Now you've got to go for 2 again the next time.
That's right. It's McAllister over the top. No signal yet. And now he is signaled just shy of the goal line.
Try attempt fails.
This is Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston. Saints have pulled to within 5. As Jimmy Williams brings it out. And Williams stopped shy of the 20. Brought down at the 18-yard.
Very, very loud, hostile environment to play a game in.
49ers start from their own 18-yard line. Penalty marker as Garcia gains 2 before he's tackled by Charles Grant. Holding 49ers.
Holding. Offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
It's Eric Heitman, the rookie left guard from Stanford.
And again, it's a situation where the player goes to the ground. It really looks like he gets tripped. Right here, here's he's blocking Grady Smith. Grady's going to go down, and if you go down to the ground, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a flag call. Grady Jackson goes to the ground. They get a holding call on Eric Heitman.
And now 1st and 19 as the 49ers keep it on the ground, and the fumble, ball is loose. And the Saints have recovered. The first 49ers turnover today. Their first in their last 3 games. Saints get the ball back on the 49ers 22. Their first turnover the last 3 games. McAllister with the fans chanting deuce. Gains 3 yards down to the 19. Julian Peterson made the tackle. 49ers had gone 27 consecutive series without turning the ball over, and they've turned it over only 5 times now this season.
And that's a key to their success so far to this point. It's so hard to win a football game if you're making mistakes and turning the ball over and beating yourselves. And the 49ers have not been doing that for the past 2 games.
2nd down and 8. Off the play fake. Brooks fires. End zone. Touchdown. It's Joe Horn again. And the Saints have taken the lead.
A little play action fake right here to Deuce McAllister. What that little play fake did was get Julian Peterson to go to move up on the play. He slipped down. That was the defender that you saw on the ground. That gave just enough room for Aaron Brooks to get that ball up over his head. You saw Julian Peterson on the ground. That was the area that allowed Aaron Brooks to fit that ball into Joe Horn.
The Saints will go for 2 again.
Well, you have to now.
They lead by 1. They trailed by 11 at the start of the quarter. Empty backfield. Brooks upended. This can't be advanced.
The try attempt failed. After the try attempt was over, personal foul on New Orleans, number 80. Unnecessary roughness. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Because they went for two twice and missed both times.
Hubbard Alexander right there. I was on our staff in Dallas. He's upset about something with Joe Horn. I think Jerome Pathan's penalty right there. You'll see the field position that the 49ers get because of that penalty right here.
Saints kicked off from the 15 instead of the 30 following the penalty. Brought back out in the lead. 2 touchdowns in a minute 21, and Garrison Hearst back in after the Barlow fumble moments ago. Best starting field position for the 49ers today. Garcia lobbing one for Owens. Terrell Owens first down. Only his 4th catch today. A gain of 23 yards.
Yeah, he has been very quiet since early in the football game, but nice composure by the 49ers offense. They come up to the line of scrimmage. The crowd has gotten back into this football game. It is unbelievably loud in here. They audible and complete a nice corner route to Terrell Owens on the sideline.
You mentioned how loud it is. The Saints defense practiced with speakers and music and a lot of noise on Friday.
Yeah, they already had a headache before they got here today.
From the 42 on first down. Garcia to the far side. Complete at the 31-yard line to Ty Streets.
Well, we've talked about Garrison Hearst as a runner, but watch him right here in pass protection. He just comes out and stones Jay Bellamy and drives him back. That is one of the parts of Garrison Hearst's game that is totally underrated. That is why he gets all the snaps in the 3rd down situations. I mean, he just stones him right there and starts to walk him out of the way.
Hurst the lone back. Double tight end set. From the 30. Hand off to Hurst. Up the middle. And he gains 2 before he's forced back by Kenny Smith. 10 minutes remaining. 49ers led 24-13 after the 3rd quarter. And Joe Horn with 2 touchdown receptions from Aaron Brooks here in the 4th. One from 10 yards and the other a 20-yard touchdown reception. And now Rick Venturi's defense looking to hold the 49ers. 2nd down and 9. 3 wide receivers set. Owens in motion to the right. Garcia steps up and throws it out of the end zone. A penalty flag from the back of the end zone. Offensive pass interference looks to be the call. The back judge, Buddy Horton, on the right of your screen, threw the flag.
The ruling on the field had been pass interference. However, the ball was uncatchable. Therefore, by rule, there is no foul. Brings up 3rd down.
Jim Haslett hasn't been happy for a while.
And his team's in the lead now.
God forbid they should fall behind after this series. Right there, that call, I don't know. It's one of those ones where, you know, it's either interference or it's not interference, and I don't know. It's be one of those situations that you know, you see it and you react to it, and you never know if the progress was impeded or the advantage gained to prevent you from catching the ball.
So the flag picked up. 3rd down and 9. Garcia pump fakes and then dumps it off underneath to Hurst. And he's tackled about 2 yards shy of the marker. Gain of 7. He needed 9, so the field goal unit comes out. And if Cortez hits, 49ers would have a 2-point lead. And keep in mind, the Saints went for two twice and missed both times.
If you line up and kick those extra points, it's 27-24 right now. This field goal attempt would be for the tie.
This is a 41-yard attempt. Cortez has not hit a field goal of 40 or more this season. This one just squeaks through his season long. And the
time left.
Saints. Another short kickoff. Lewis comes up to get it. 49ers looking to keep the ball away from Lewis again, as they did earlier.
Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be a big test for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Tampa Bay Bucks are playing very, very good football right now.
Buccaneers 5-1. Their only loss to the New Orleans Saints opening week. Brooks looking for Horn on first down.
A little bit of confusion there at the end of the play. Joe Horn and Jerome Pathon both kind of in the area where the ball was thrown, and the confusion led to neither one of them trying to make a play on the football.
Brooks now 20 of 31, 215 yards, and he has tied his career high with 3 touchdown passes today. 2 to Joe Horn and 1 to Deuce McAllister. Two tight ends on 2nd and 10. McAllister bottled up. Derek Smith in from the middle linebacker position, a loss of 2 on the play. So a 3rd down and 12. The Saints have converted on 9 of 12 third downs today, including a number of 3rd and longs.
Well, right now it looks as though the New Orleans Saints offense feels as though they might have had their day done with that last touchdown drive. There's a lot of time left to play. They've come out and have been very ineffective on their first 2 plays. They cannot afford to go 3 and out right here and give the ball back to that 49er offense that just scored a field goal.
3 wide receivers. Brooks. And coming back to make the catch is Horn. What a play on 3rd and 12. Pass was a bit underthrown, and Horn came back to make the catch for a gain of 16.
This is all Aaron Brooks, and he gets out of the pocket. This time he's got his guys working back to him. Joe Horn comes across on an in route. That ball is thrown as Aaron Brooks is shuffling to his side, across his body, and 20 yards down the field. He has made some unbelievable throws this afternoon.
And Horn goes over the 100-yard mark for the 3rd time this season on his 8th catch of the day. Brooks over the middle, complete. Down to the 36-yard line. Deuce McAllister, a gain of 17 yards.
These are the things that Deuce McAllister can do that Ricky Williams did not provide for this offense last year. They empty up the backfield set. He goes one-on-one with Julian Peterson, who's a very athletic linebacker, beats him across on the quick little post route for a big gain.
So the Saints move the chains on consecutive pass plays with 6.5 remaining, trailing by 2. From the San Francisco 36, here comes the blitz. Brooks handing it off to McAllister. Inside the 30, inside the 25. Finally forced out of bounds at the 17-yard line by Tony Parrish. A gain of 19 for McAllister.
What a good call by offensive coordinator Mike McCarthy. Here they come on the blitz this way. They've got a toss directly away from that blitz. They just lost 2 defenders out of their secondary. And now the patience of Deuce McAllister. And then at the end of the run, watch how he finishes this as he lowers his shoulder and takes on Tony Parrish for some extra yards.
The last 3 Saints plays, Darryl, have gained 16, 17, and 19 yards. And Deuce with his 5th 100-yard game this season. From the 17, play action. Brooks takes off inside the 10, down to the 5.
It is so hard for a defender as he moves up onto a mobile quarterback not to leave his feet. But Julian Peterson, once he decides he's going to attack Aaron Brooks, he has to stay on the ground and just come up to make a tackle. As he moves up, Aaron Brooks pumps it, gets him off his feet, and that's what enables him to get by. If he decides to attack Aaron Brooks Don't worry about knocking that pass down. Just come up and make the tackle.
Saints finding the holes in the 49ers defense. They've gained 64 yards their last 4 plays. First and goal from the 5, and the play clock winds all the way down.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Game 2, Giants and Angels tonight on Fox. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Under 5 minutes to play here. Brooks to McAllister. And a nice play to trip him up by Ronnie Hurd at the 4-yard line after a gain of 6.
A really nice play by Ronnie Hurd, because he had Spencer Falau, the big right tackle, out there in front of Deuce McAllister. He avoids the block, gets underneath with still enough to get a hand on Deuce McAllister and get him knocked down. Watch the move right here. He breaks back across the face of Spencer Falau and gets an arm out there to trip up Deuce McAllister.
Hurd replacing the injured Zach Bronson today. Saved a touchdown. Second and goal from the 4. McAllister into the pile. No gain on the play. So with under 4 minutes remaining, Saints facing a 3rd and goal. There's defensive coordinator Jim Mora Jr. Each team 3 red zone touchdowns and 1 field goal. The difference, the two-point conversions, Saints went for it twice and were unsuccessful both times instead of kicking the extra points.
That's our difference right now in this football game, the 2 points.
Now 3rd and goal. Saints 10 for 13 on 3rd down. Brooks fakes the handoff under pressure from G.K. O'Keefer. 3 49ers chasing him. He throws to the end zone, and it's dropped. John Carney has hit from 46 and 31 today. This a 22-yard attempt, a chip shot. Toby going the holder. Carney's kick is straight through. His 3rd field goal today. And with 3:12 remaining, 49ers have all 3 of their timeouts. Williams from the 9. Jimmy Williams out to the 29-yard line, 20 yards on the return. From an 11-point 4th quarter deficit, they lead the 49ers by 1. Just over 3 minutes remaining. 49ers go back to work. And Kevin Barlow, who fumbled on his last carry leading to a Saints touchdown, is back in as he and Garrison Hurst rotate series by series. Close to 800 yards of total offense. Both teams terrific on 3rd down. Aaron Brooks has passed for 3 touchdowns. And Deuce McAllister over the 100-yard mark on the ground for the 5th time in 7 games. The Saints 5-1. The 49ers 4-1. Jeff Garcia on 2nd and 10. Pass to the far side is intercepted. He was looking for Ty Streets. Ken Irvin picks it off. His 1st interception this season. The 2nd 49ers turnover in the 4th quarter after they. And the Saints have scored on all 4 of their possessions in the 2nd half. McAllister inside the 20, down to the 13-yard line. A 30-yard pickup by McAllister.
This is the mark of a great football team, when you've got somebody down and you can just pound the ball. They go back to their pull and trap scheme. We've seen a lot of the zone blocking this afternoon. That is really one of the fortes of this athletic offensive, is part of the arsenal of the plays that they can go to.
Here's McAllister again down to the 11-yard line as we approach a 2-minute warning. 49ers stop the clock
On 3rd down, it's been fun to watch.
Off the play fake, Brooks looking end zone, and he did not get in. Stopped just short by Tony Parrish, but he did pick up the 1st down. As fullback Smith and McAllister in the backfield. Brooks takes it in himself. And a penalty flag. And Hochuli counting players. And now another flag.
The foul is illegal substitution. 12 men on the field offense. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
So the penalty is declined.
Score a touchdown and make a 2-point conversion now to tie this game up.
The thinking is the Saints would probably score anyway, so this way they'll get the ball. Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor, Jonathan X. The senior producer is Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Jamal Robertson returning kicks for the first time after the bobble. Brings it out.
During the return, tripping. Number 88 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. San Francisco keeps the ball. First down.
From their own 9 with only one timeout remaining. 1:49 on the clock. Garcia had the pass batted back by Darren Howard.
Batted back and almost right into the hands of Charlie Clemens. We haven't seen Charlie very much today. He's nursing an injury just a few inches away from this game being all but over right there.
Darren Howard, 3 sacks last week, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. The big play in the final minutes today. Over 68,000 on their feet. A sold-out Louisiana Superdome. Saints look to make it 6-1 on the season. Garcia to the outside. Broken up. Fred Thomas makes the play. Cedric Wilson was the intended receiver.
And again, it's pressure on the quarterback. The New Orleans Saints regularly this afternoon have not really gotten to him. We see that he's been hurried, hit a little bit, but it's been a while. The first half, they did a nice job with their pressures. This is the most pressure they've had this entire fourth quarter.
Third and 10. 3 wide receivers. Garcia over the top to Garrison Hurst. He picks up the first down out at the 23-yard line. A gain of 14. '49ers with a record of 4-1. They've won their last 3. Down to 1:15 on the clock. Garcia looking for Ty Streets. Aaron Brooks nearly made the catch on the Saints sideline.
Ty Streets has got to do a better job on his release to allow some room on the sideline to be able to drift out and make that catch. Fakir Brown does a nice job of just forcing him to the sideline right here and riding him, using the sideline as another defender.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 23. 49ers have 1 timeout remaining. They led this game by 11 early in the fourth quarter. Garcia's pass is caught by the tight end Eric Johnson for another first down. Gain of 12 with 1 minute left on the clock. 49ers still have to go 65 yards. Garcia now moves up under center. Garcia in trouble. And he threw it away. Wrapped up by Grady Jackson.
There was an eligible receiver, number 20. Number 20 was in the area.
What a heady play by Jeff Garcia. He's about to get sacked by Grady Jackson. I don't know where he finds the strength to maintain his balance with that big man on his back and get that ball thrown into the area of the eligible receiver. But with only 1 timeout left, that would have been a critical decision for Steve Mariucci.
Somebody ran into the huddle. That's somebody from the sidelines or from the stands? '49ers trailing by 8. Owens comes in motion. Garcia over the middle. Owens could not hang on to it.
That would have been a great catch by Terrell Owens. He releases straight up the seam. The ball's a little bit back over the back shoulder and high. Kind of an awkward position as he adjusts on that route. But at a point like this, you need your big playmaker to step up and make that big play.
Third and 10 with 36 seconds left. A huge fourth quarter comeback by the New Orleans Saints. Garcia steps up and throws complete to Barlow. Has the first down and stops the clock at the 48-yard line. A gain of 13.
I tell you, this has been very impressive up until this point, starting off at their 9-yard line and not panicking at any situation. A lot of these passes have been caught in play. They've had only one timeout. They've shown a lot of composure, getting back to the line of scrimmage, getting the next play called, saving that final timeout for that critical point in this drive where they need it.
Remember, even if the 49ers do reach the end zone, they would need to convert a two-point conversion. Garcia over the middle, deflected, and complete. Again, looking for Owens up the middle of the field.
The same play that they just missed on a few plays before.
Good coverage, Fred Thomas, and then Sammy Knight coming over.
You see they've got him covered. They're trailing with Fred Thomas. Sammy Knight comes in to put on the big hit.
Terrell Owens only 4 receptions today, scored the game's first touchdown, but it's been a relatively quiet afternoon for Owens. Second and 10 with 23 seconds. Play clock winding down. Garcia's pass is caught by Streets at the 40. Ken Irvin, the tackle, and the 49ers use their final timeout after the 13-yard. From the 39, Owens in motion. Garcia steps up and throws, looking for James Jordan in the end zone, and Fakir Brown on the coverage. Got a piece of it. Jordan would not have been able to catch it in bounds anyhow. Now down to 9 seconds.
That play took 7 seconds off the clock, so realistically they've got 2 more plays where they could get another shot into the end zone. James Jordan, a nice effort to try and get back to that ball, although he would have been out of bounds with the catch.
James Jordan, a New Orleans native out of Louisiana Tech, activated from the practice squad on Monday. And the 49ers look to Jordan in the final seconds. Garcia dumps it off. Barlow, time has run out. Barlow did not realize it, and the game is over. Barlow ran out of bounds instead of looking for a lateral. And the clock, time expired.